We are back in HopStart, guys, and this is Shuvro, your host. Look at this amazing place where I am. I am actually in Okhla. I am in a place called the Rug Republic. They are amazing into rugs and handloom stuff, which you'll get to see immediately after this anchor link. And I'm going to meet Aditya Gupta. He's the founder of this place, and he's an entrepreneur. He's an adventure freak, and he just finished an amazing expedition. He climbed the Mount Everest, the summit of Everest. So it's going to be awesome. I'm going to have a long chat with him. I hope you guys love it. So let's don't waste time and let's go and meet him.
Hi, my name is Aditya Gupta. I'm an entrepreneur, the founder of the Rug Republic and the Furniture Republic. And I've been an adventurer and an adventure enthusiast all my life. And I'm really happy to talk to you guys about it today.
Aditya, hi. Welcome to HopStart. And great to listen to someone in the introduction who's talking about adventure, because I myself, I'm a little bit of a freak when it comes to adventure and all. Great to have you in HopStart. I'll, before getting into the adventurous part, let's start where we are sitting right now. It's a beautiful place you have. What it is all about?
So this is our export showroom. I'm in the business of home fashion export, floor fashion and some accessories. So this is our international buyer showroom. This is one of those things. This is our product. On the accessory side, there are other floors here which are just rugs.
Right. So and since when is this going on?
Well, we started this business in 1991-92.
Oh,
the Rug Republic as a brand was launched in 2014, 2013-2014. So yeah, we've been around. The world kind of knows us in this trade. So
you were always in this field, or were you into something else and you thought that, you know, I want to be an entrepreneur and kind of start something?
No, because, well, I am from an entrepreneurial family.
It's in the genes.
It is, yeah, I think that would be a fair comment. I was fortunate to have the best of education. I was at IIT Roorkee, then I was at FMS. So I did have the typical sort of American Express sort of job offers and things. But I don't think I ever really took that option as an option. It was always a business journey for us. So this business was actually started in our family home by our parents in 1983. So we kind of grew up.
I wasn't even born then.
So I was in class 10. So we grew up seeing rugs being woven, you know, in the garage here and there. So we had that advantage that we kind of grew up with this. And by the time I finished college, the little seed that our parents had sown in 1983, by 1991-92, it was a little sapling, and you know, things were happening. There were a few people. It was kind of stabilized from the point of view of being an exact startup. Right, but those were the times when this was a traditional business. You had to really, it took years to even stabilize.
Correct. But modernizing traditional business, how is it
for you? That's the journey which me and my brother, so me and my brother have been together in this for over 20 years. We restructured our family businesses only in the last 5-6 years.
Because nowadays we talk a lot about tech, we talk about a lot of fields have opened up over the time, and there's a boom in startups, so you can think of a lot of ideas, people are on the computer, but this is a little...
Which I am doing now.
Let's talk about that.
I am doing that. Because as I said, I am an entrepreneur and my job is to move with the times. However, these businesses are beautiful businesses because they are sort of brick and mortar, real world, touchy-feely. And they make you wealthy not in one huge stroke, but by what I call the piggy bank model. So every week you're making
drop by drop,
you know, drop by drop, by drop, but on a very consistent basis. You know, nothing will happen in the stock market tomorrow that will erode my wealth by 50%.
It's not going to disrupt.
You know, so it is about delivering real things to real people for a nominal margin and doing it consistently over decades and decades and decades.
You have designers on board?
We have 6 full-time designers on our design team. We do product development. I am the head of the design team here. A lot of our learning happens from the best brains in the world who visit us. So this showroom would have more than 150 important international visitors every year. Each visit is for me sort of a feedback on my portfolio You know, so people make a comment, people make an observation, people make a selection. So everything that is going on during a buyer visit for us is critical feedback.
Since there are a lot of young guys with a lot of creative skills these days, do you bring in people in your team to kind of like build it like further in your creative? Or I'm sure.
Well, to be honest, so there are two parts to that. I have one serious issue with the so-called young guys. They're great in talent, but they're terrible in attitude. They're even worse in stability. So I, as a business person, value stability over talent, because if they have great talent but if they have poor attitude, I can't convert their talent into anything productive.
Right.
You know, if you are not going to be sticking around long enough to understand the business, to deliver value, you start to ask, what is my impact on the third week that you joined office? Well, you have no impact. Just joined 3 weeks ago.
So that's one one aspect which, of course,
hang in here, then you'll have an impact.
So yeah, now as you said about the young people, they need to be a little consistent. Well, all this talk we'll do. Now let's get into a little bit of the adventure part of it. Now I'm sure a lot of people are aware of it, but a lot of people are not aware of it, and that's the reason I'm sitting with you. You have achieved something like some time back, and you climbed the summit of Everest in which month of this year itself?
22nd May this year. Yeah.
I don't need to kind of talk too much about it. I would like you to talk about it a little bit. When did this happen? From rugs to all this stuff to the summit?
Well, so adventure has been part of my blood, I would say, from college times. So we had a club in our university. I was at Roorkee University, now it's the IIT Roorkee, called the Himalayan Explorers Club. So I was very involved in that club at that stage, and we used to do our treks and adventure trips of all kinds. Before going home in every holiday, we would first go for an adventure trip.
Right.
So it's from that time. I was 16, 17 years old when I did my first trek to Pindari Glacier. So actually the rugs came in later.
Yeah.
Adventure
Fair
came
enough.
in before.
So that was actually
rugs.
the first thing came. Fair
Yes.
enough.
So, and when I started working, I have to admit that for about 10 years, so 1992 to 2002, I was very focused on work, and I had to cut out the adventure travel and all of that stuff. Because I was work, family, you know, all of that. But 2002 I resumed with a trek to Ladakh, and then after since then, now it's an absolutely non-negotiable part of my annual calendar. At least one serious adventure trip. If I'm lucky, maybe one or two more. Like this year, end of October, I'm going to Maldives for a diving course. So I want to now explore what's happening under the sea.
Right.
I am not so wedded only to mountains. So for me, it's nature, adventure, wilderness, solitude, natural beauty, photography.
Yeah, specifically the young people should know, when we talk about adventure and nature, it's always not about the mountains.
No, it's not always that.
Even the mountains under the oceans.
It's not always, yeah, so I have done, for example, one of my most amazing adventure trips 2 years ago was in Mongolia. It was a horseback traverse. For 10 days we were on horseback in the Western Altai ranges in Mongolia, and it was gorgeous. It was not highly risky. It was not like, you know, Mount Everest or something like that is very risky.
Absolutely.
But there is a lot of adventure out there, which is fun and adventure, but it's not life-threatening adventure.
Absolutely.
You know, it can still be adventure because it's uncertain, because you don't know what will happen when, you know, what can happen when, but it will probably not kill you.
Correct. Aditya, we'll have to take a quick break, but after this quick break, we'll even walk around a little bit your showroom, and let's continue this chat with. I'm really kicked about talking a little more about the Everest part. Guys, stay tuned. As you know, there's awesome stuff coming up still with Aditya.
2, 1.
Welcome after the quick break. Aditya, so let's continue. So how is the experience? Like, you know, how's the feeling when you reach a summit which people dream of, people talk about, people use it in their examples, and you are literally there? So you are the best person to actually give me the right answer.
The accurate answer.
Yeah, how you
So
feel?
the accurate answer is
Top of the world.
Is less than exciting. Because the accurate answer is in two parts. One is that while you are there in the middle of it, actually, you are extremely focused and totally consumed by what's going on.
Yeah.
And your focus is on two things. One is to try and achieve your goal.
Yeah.
And the other one is to try and not die. The expedition actually reveals to you itself over the next few days in your thoughts, because once you're down from there, then it keeps on replaying in your mind over and over again.
It's kind of like a post-traumatic stress.
It's a little bit, so because when you're there, then you have to be, you don't have any space whatsoever to think of anything else. When I reached the summit, the very top of the world, of course there is a sense of elation, there is a sense of relief, there is a huge sense of thankfulness
and achievement.
And so I'll have to admit that there is no sense of achievement when you're right there, because you know that the job is only half done. The most tricky part is getting down. And anybody who is genuinely a mountain lover, and I, honest to God, I've never thought of this as a victory or as something very big. You always think of this as the kindness of the mountain that will let you climb. Because when you are there, you see that you are nothing. You are a little cheaty.
And it's this.
And in a flick of a thing, one rock will fall on you, you're finished. Even your body will be hard to retrieve from there. So when you are there, you feel like, wow, this is my destiny. This is the good wishes and the prayers of everyone's praying for you. Literally, people know you are there. Your family is, your family, friend, hundreds of people knew I was there. I was on social media.
Did you take a selfie? When you were
well, I took a picture, not a selfie. I mean, my Sherpa took a picture for me.
Fair enough.
But so there I was very thankful that I made it, and I was praying that I should get back, safely. I recorded a small video for my family to say that I love them. I recorded a quick sort of a 360-degree view, because you have to be out of there in minutes.
You don't have that much of time.
Not really. No, there is no picnicking, because obviously you're with oxygen, and oxygen is running out.
And plus there are a lot of people, right? So like...
well, it's not because so much of the people, because people are coming and going, and if you want to sit there, you can. But obviously the weather window is shrinking by the minute.
Doesn't allow you
oxygen is flowing. You don't know how much time you might need when you're on your way back. So it's not like a free-for-all situation. It is there are a lot of limited resources you are working on, including energy. So I mean, I took 13 hours to reach the top from where I started, from South Col. So you have been climbing in the death zone for 13 hours. I took 11 hours to come back. I was on the mountain 24 hours non-stop. And in eating almost like a few nuts which were in my pocket and a little chocolate or two, just 1 liter of water, and basically 4 bottles of oxygen.
So that's a lot of experience.
Yes, it is.
So as you mentioned, you were a little kind of you had the bent towards the adventure part, like you went to Pindari much back and earlier days. Any special preparation which you had to do to kind of go through? I'm sure there was.
Well, obviously, Everest is a completely different scale of an event, so you have to prepare. And I was speaking of some of my lessons, and that is one of the lessons that passion alone is not enough. A passion plus preparation is performance.
Does this teach you, or does this open up things to connect with the daily chores of our life?
Oh, it absolutely does.
As we were talking about before.
Entrepreneurship and adventure are so related that it's almost like uncanny. It's uncanny, because when I'm there, and this is a huge adventure, even in the smaller things, you see there are so many parallels. You see there are so many parallels. And an adventure of this scale actually prepares you for a lot, because here you are risking your life. Business, you are risking only money. That's the worst. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, you lose some money, or you will lose XYZ. You will not get killed.
It's not to do with your life.
If you've made friends with adventure and risk to the extent that you know that your life is on stake, and you still have the mindset to carry on with the journey, then obviously you are very well trained for what happens in a daily situation on an entrepreneurship basis. It also is a huge confidence builder that I can deal with it. No matter what happens, I'll come out of it.
And that's so much required in everything
at
which
work
we do.
And especially entrepreneurship, because things don't go to plan. Things, it's a question of how much focus there is. That's the other lesson. The power of focus. Focusing. You were
thinking of writing a book, or you were in a process to finalize a book?
I am doing a book which is like a memoir, but also incorporating my thoughts and feelings and my lessons. I won't call it a book, it's more like a photo essay with some notes. Because I think that's what relates to me better. I am a photographer too, so therefore it's, it kind of works out.
Goes well,
Yes.
This was an awesome chat, understanding your business, understanding of your amazing endurance to reach a summit, and of course, I mean, it's a show for millennials, and you are not a millennial, but
really.
but you are inspiring the millennial. That's the catch,
so.
you know. That's the reason for you being in HopStart with me. That, you know, a lot of young people have dreams. A lot of people are yet dreaming to having a ride to Ladakh, you know. But what would be that advice or the tip to the young guys who have dreams, but kind of for some reason just have the dreams? Hey man, I wish I could have done this, as if like they have spent their entire life, where I sit with a wise person who's been into the zone for so many years.
So I would share with you the other lesson that also was, you know, kind of reinforced for me during the Everest expedition, and that is what I call the power of one step at a time. So in the hardest of hard moments, you have to know that it's a question of just putting one foot ahead of the other.
Yeah.
And in a situation of Everest, you know that you don't have time to dilly-dally, change around. There's no Netflix option of changing this channel, changing that channel.
You're
right?
done with this.
You are, you know, it's no thing of, I don't like it anymore. Well, you can't like it. There's no like, dislike. You already committed. You got to stay with the script, and you got to finish the job.
Yeah.
You kill yourself.
There is
no exit.
Yeah.
There is no
no other way out.
There
basically.
is no. I mean, of course, you can give up, and then you like, you know, you've given up your money, time, and all your resolve. So if you ask for the tip, it's a question of, you know, knowing what you want, and knowing that there will be an element of what I called, you know, expecting to deal with the unexpected.
Yeah.
Not with easily thrown off something because something wrong happened, or a bad boss, or a bad partner, or a bad girlfriend, boyfriend happened. Well, those kind of things keep on happening.
Yeah.
You know, that is not
You change your entire.
So if you
thought
have that
process.
one step at a time attitude, if you're expecting that some things can go wrong and I can still deal with it, if you're so focused. And the other learning, and very important, and especially because you mentioned the millennials and how big their dreams are, and the lesson was that the scale of your ambition should not scare you, right? So Everest, for instance, is a massive mountain. When you start walking towards the Everest, after 4 days of leaving Lukla, you already look at the Everest way in the distance, a little tiny peak somewhere in the clouds.
It's going to take you months, more than a month.
And then over the next 40 days, you keep on walking, it keeps on getting closer and closer, and it keeps looming large on your persona. Like you are a little cheaty, the Everest is like whatever it is. And even from the final camp, the South Core, if you will see the pictures, it's a huge mountain still remaining to be climbed and returned in the same shot. Till that time, you're just going to a camp and camping there.
Just there, yeah.
But on the final summit night, you have to go up and come down.
Yeah.
There's no camping.
Yeah. There's no halting.
Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
And you're on your oxygen. And if your oxygen malfunctions or gets finished or something, you know, anything can happen. So that massiveness of your dream or your goal should not be scaring us to think, you know, how will I do this?
Overwhelm you.
Or all
like
the time keep evaluating whether or not, you know. So there is that, it should not be scaring. It should be completely motivating. And knowing that, okay, focus and one step at a time and I'm going to get it.
Awesome. Aditya, that was a great chat. Thank you so much for taking out the time and meeting us in HopStart and giving that brilliant insight. And this is going to be inspirational for all of us, even for me when I'm sitting next to you and talking to you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of HopStart. Great having you. Thank you.